Hey, what's up, everybody? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks and insight for this MLB 7-game slate on Draftkings for Monday, August 31st. We got a 7-gamer. So far, no games have been postponed. Everything's looking good. We got a pretty good slate. We got some good aces. We got some good bats. We got Coors Field on the slate, so we all know how that goes all the time. But yeah, I'm just going to go through, kind of skim through the pitchers, give you two pitchers that I really like. And then I'm going to jump over to the bats and give you two stacks or two teams that I'm really looking at early on, and then we'll just go from there. But yeah, before I get into it, if you could like, comment, subscribe, I really do appreciate it. I was doing NBA videos, not going to really be doing them right now just because it's only like 2-game slates for the playoffs. I do have a Discord. If anybody wants to get in on that, just let me know. Um, but yeah, which I do talk about, like any questions you guys have, I'll try to get back to you guys and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's get to it. So like I was talking about the pitchers, we got a pretty good pitching slate today. We got Bieber on the mound, we got Giolito, Garrett Cole versus Tampa Bay, Max Fried even versus Boston's not a bad play right now. And then even Glass now. The top 5 guys, as price wise, I mean they can all be aces, you know. I mean they all have really good upside. I think Max Fried has the lowest upside out of them, but he's in a pretty good matchup versus Boston. I mean, Boston's been looking decent, but um, they haven't been the best team all season. As far as matchups, like across the board, Bieber has the best matchup. At 11K, he is the priciest guy. He has shown the best upside. Giolito did just come off of that no-hitter, complete game, yada yada. 59.7 fantasy points, and even before that, he had that 43.4 versus Detroit. Where he only allowed 3 hits and 1 walk, 13 Ks in the last 2 games. He's been looking very good. He got priced up to 10.4. He's a stud. I don't mind him. I don't expect him to continue that crazy, but who knows? I mean, he is playing against Minnesota, though. Minnesota's a very good offense, as we all know. That's like kind of where I'm separating the guys. Tampa Bay is a pretty good offense. Um, and then my decision really comes down to that. I mean, Bieber is going to be my main stud on the slate, but I think you can't go wrong with most of those guys. But I will just be paying up for Bieber just due to his matchup. He's going against Kansas City. Kansas City hasn't been the best team all season. He is going to be um, facing a pretty right-handed matchup, handed team. The left-handed batters don't really scare me too much in that lineup. 1.35 ERA on the season, 7.5 Ks. He's averaging like 10.7 strikeouts per outing, which is very good. He does leave guys on base, which is worrisome. I mean, you would think he's going to regress eventually. I'm hoping that doesn't happen tonight. If you're worried about that, obviously you have plenty of other studs you can play instead of him. But me myself, I do like Bieber. Pitched against this team earlier in the season, put up 41.9. I mean, not that happens overall consistently in baseball, but I like Bieber. I'm just gonna pay up for him. I think he has the best matchup out of all the pitchers. Glass now in the toughest matchup versus the Yankees. I think he's more GPP. I do like him as well. But if I want to be really different, I think he's the guy I would go with. And now, I mean, if you're going to approach this slate, if you want to play Coors Field, you're going to have to pay down for a bat, for another pitcher. If you want to play 2 studs, you probably can, but you're going to have to really, really um, pay down for your pitchers or pay up for your pitchers, and then you're going to have some cheap bats. But me, myself, I think I'm just going to try my luck with a cheaper guy. If you do want to play 2 good pitchers, I don't blame you either, because the value, in my opinion, is not that good tonight. And I mean, you just cancel the Coors Field pitchers out. You got 2 of those guys gone. I don't really like any of these other pitchers. So if you did want to play even like Bieber and Glass now, Bieber and Cole, you probably can, but you will have to probably pay really far down for bats. And with Coors Field on the slate, most people won't want to be doing that, so it will be different. But it just depends what you want to do. There's always going to be value. I was already looking through projected starting lineups, and I was seeing there's going to be multiple 2K guys out there that will allow you to do it for sure. So that is one way to approach the slate. I'll probably be playing a decent amount of Brad Keller. versus Cleveland. Cleveland hasn't been the scariest team this season. They have a good offense, obviously. We know they have some good bats on that team, but they haven't looked consistently good all season, and I'm hoping Brad Keller can bounce back from his last outing against St. Louis. He did give up 6 hits, 5 earned runs. He only had 4 Ks. He's not much of a strikeout guy. He's a good pitcher. At 6.9, I'm willing to take the chance on him if I'm going to play. Um, if I want to pay up for bats, I'm willing to play Brad Keller at 6.9K. I don't have an issue with it. Hopefully he can return to like how he's playing versus his first 3 games is kind of what I'm banking on. Hopefully he doesn't go out there and give us 1 fantasy point versus Cleveland, but it can happen. So I mean, take this pick with a grain of salt, I would say. He hadn't given up an earned run until the last game. His first 3 starts, he didn't allow a run. He had 19 strikeouts. He's not much of a strikeout guy. He's just going to go out there and be a good real life pitcher. He's just a good pitcher. Ground balls, fly balls is like the way he wins. Um, I don't expect him to go out there and strike out 10 guys. If he does, that'd be amazing. But obviously, that's not what I'm looking for him. I'm just looking for him to survive and kind of just give us 20. If he could give us 20 points, that'd be awesome because then it lets us pay up for bats as well, and we'd be in a really good spot. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, if you don't feel comfortable with the Keller pick, you can just pay up for another guy and try to find value bats depending how you want to build your lineups. But me, I'll probably be going Bieber and Keller and testing my luck with Keller really. But yeah, that's really it with the pitchers. Those are the 2 guys I'm going to be looking at for most of my ownership, I believe, playing multiple lineups at least. Up next, I want to talk about the bats. I want to talk about, obviously, we have Coors Field on the slate. San Diego, Colorado. Can't go wrong with either one. I mean, San Diego's been looking very good. Tatis, Machado has been on fire. Machado's actually been looking better than Tatis, in my opinion. He's been looking amazing. 11 home runs, 29 RBIs, 309 batting average. But for me, on this slate, I think I am going to prefer the Colorado side. I was looking at the prices. They are priced around the same as like the best San Diego guys, but I do prefer them. I think Richards hasn't been the best pitcher this season. Looking over at his plate IQ, he hasn't really been the best. Doesn't really have much strikeout stuff. He doesn't really have much. He walks a good amount. His fly balls, nothing's really good on either side of the plate. He's been struggling a lot more versus righties and lefties, and he is a right-handed pitcher, which is kind of worrisome. So if I am going to be paying up for a bat today, I do really like Arenado out of Story and Blackman as well. 0.256 ISO, 0.372 WOBA, 12.5 strikeout rate. Doesn't really strike out much. Doesn't walk too much. But when he's his hard hit rate's pretty good, 41.1, 77.8 contact. He's just very good. He's been looking a lot better lately. He did start off the season, in my opinion, pretty slow, but over the last couple games, he's been looking a lot better. He's been having multi-hit games. He's on a hitting streak. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 6 games in a row where he's gotten a hit. He's looked good. If I'm going to pay up for anyone from the Rockies, I think it's going to be Arenado, so I am going to be plugging him in. I do like Nolan Arenado. He should be batting like 3rd or 4th. So I do like him a fairly good amount. I like paying up for him. Now for some value guys that I do like from Colorado. I do like Tapia leading off. 3.8K, not a bad play. 0.312 batting average on the season. He doesn't have power. He's not going to go out there and get you home runs, but he gets on base. Obviously, you're going to need guys to get on base. With the good hitters behind him like Story and Blackman and Arenado, you're going to need him to get on base. And I think he's not priced properly for playing at home. That's just my opinion, especially as a leadoff guy. I don't think he's priced high enough, so I'm pretty sure he'll be high owned. I'm pretty sure all the Colorado and the San Diego guys will be high owned, but I don't mind being in that bunch tonight. So I do like Tapia for sure. And then the next guy I want to talk about is Hilliard. Hasn't been bad this season. I mean, his batting average is not the best. He has 4 home runs, 6 RBIs, but for 2.7K, batting a lefty versus a righty, I like that matchup a fairly good amount. And Hilliard's actually been very good going back to last season. He only has 118 plate appearances, but he's actually has better numbers than all the other guys I mentioned. 0.330 ISO, 0.383 WOBA. He has good pop on him for 2.7K playing in Coors Field. You're going to want some of these cheaper guys in your lineup like Hilliard, Kemp, Walters, just guys like that. You're going to need guys like that to round out your Coors Field stack if you are going to be stacking Coors Field, which is what I'm looking to be doing. Especially if you're only playing one lineup. If you're only playing one lineup, I think you play Coors Field and just match the field on that. If you're playing multiple lineups, obviously you can differentiate yourself, but I do like Coors Field a fairly good amount tonight. The pitchers aren't that strong, so I do like stacking the guys. And then another stack that I am looking at just to be a little different than those guys. If you want to pair them up with Colorado, I don't mind. Depending how you guys like to stack your teams, 5-3s, 5-2s, 4-4s, 4-3s. There's so many ways you can go in baseball, but obviously we all know the key is stacking. So another team I don't mind stacking tonight is actually Atlanta versus Brewer from the Boston Red Sox. And specifically the lefties, I mean, you got Freeman, um, Markakis, even Camargo. Camargo's like 3K or something like 3.1. But the one I'm looking at early on is 3.6 Markakis just because he's cheap. And like I said, I want to pay up for some of these Colorado guys. So I might want to fit a guy like Story in there at shortstop eventually. Just stuff like that. But I do like Markakis. He's been looking pretty good this season. .340 batting average. He should be batting like 5th or 6th in the lineup. Lefty versus righty. I like him in this matchup a good amount. On the season, .238 ISO, .363 WOBA, 17.4 strikeout rate. He doesn't strike out much. He works that pitch count really good, 42.9% hard hit. He's not much of a hard hit guy, but he gets on base, 87.2 strikeout rate. He can steal bases as well. Brewer struggles against both sides of the plate. His strikeout rate's a little better versus lefties, but that's not something that I worry about. I think that's something he won't continue with forever. If we look at his numbers, a little better versus lefties throughout his career, but in these kind of splits, I usually take the batter against the pitcher, in my opinion. But um, Brewer, I don't expect him to go out there and have an amazing game. And this Atlanta team is pretty good. And Acuna is supposed to be starting tonight. I think he's supposed to be back from an injury. I think he missed one game or something like that. But I mean, that just makes their lineup that much stronger with Acuna, Freeman, Osuna, all these guys batting ahead of them if they can get on base. With Markakis coming up 6th, I do like it a fairly good amount. And obviously, you don't have to play him. You can play other guys from this team. Osuna, I like Osuna as well at 4.1. I just think some of these guys are a little underpriced for the matchup. And Osuna has been very good this season. .286 average, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs. Makes it kind of hard because he is an outfielder, so you would have to swap one of these guys out. Obviously, I would probably pick Tapia to move out because I do like the Hilliard price tag for the savings as well. But that leaves me with 4.1K, and like I always say, there's always going to be some 2K guys that come out 2 point something that come up that will let you pay up for even more bats. So this is what I'm looking at early on. Hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment, and I will get back to you guys. Thank you.